On this show, it is time for the Weekend Recommend, where a film and TV fanatic shares their latest recommendations of what to watch, and I sort of decide whether or not I'm going to give it a whirl. And this week, I'm joined by Chris Olson, a film critic and founder of the UK Film Review. Good evening, Chris.
Hey, Geoff. Nice to be here.
Yeah, no, it's good to have you here. I think it's so interesting about. I presume this is like an online space, UK Film Review.
Yeah, largely.
And you guys are so powerful now.
What, us online people?
Well, you know, like it's made or break by YouTubers, Rotten Tomato. You know, it's become such a focal point of how films open. So
yeah, critically can it make a big impact on a film's opening, but often the opposite happens. If a very sort of negative critical response comes out, people get really interested and say, hey, I'm going to go watch that. It sounds awful.
Do you know, Chris, I had that one, 2017 Edinburgh Fringe, 1-star review. I sold out my next 3 days. It was just morbid curiosity, frankly. Now some people are Googling the review. Go ahead, enjoy. We're going to talk about Disclosure Day, which is Steven Spielberg's highly anticipated film, which is in cinemas this week, starring Colin Firth, Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor. Humans have secretly been abusing aliens, and a cybersecurity expert, played by Josh O'Connor, undercovers a piece of extraterrestrial technology which exposes in turn government cover-up. His character and Margaret, a local TV weather presenter played by Emily Blunt, fight to be whistleblowers in a world on the brink of World War III. I mean, it's quite timely, this film, isn't it, Chris? Because it was always a bit of a cranky thing believing in UFOs and extraterrestrials. But we've had, as Spielberg himself says, we've had increasingly high-level disclosures from former generals, people that work for the US government. But here's the thing. Is it a good film? I hope it's a good film. Is it good?
I really enjoyed it. Great. I thought this was a good Spielbergian cinematic release. We don't get them as often as we'd like. And if you're a fan of films like Close Encounters, E.T., some of his big hits, this isn't that good, but it's in the right direction. Emily Blunt is fabulous in this. And Josh O'Connor is actually really good. But the topics and the themes that it's raising on the previous segments, so I want to talk about Elon Musk and this whole idea of who decides what the public knows and who decides which direction we go in. And some of these gatekeepers and these really powerful people often may have the power to shape everyone's system. So Disclosure Day has a really, really powerful message behind it, but the essence of it is a very good action sci-fi film with a bit of comedy thrown in as well.
I think people will know Emily Blunt, they'll know Colin Firth. Josh O'Connor, by name, I don't remember him so well, so tell me some other stuff he's...
Bit of a newer actor. I mean, even I sort of wasn't really that aware of him, and I think it's the sort of role where he's a kind of more of a breakout role, for me anyway. I think
I'm guessing he's young and handsome with a name like Josh.
They always are,
aren't
they?
Classic handsome bloke name is Josh. I'm really fascinated by box office at the moment because the box office is all over the shop. We had Mandalorian and Grogu did 300 million, was seen as maybe a bit of a disappointment. Then you had horror films with no budget whatsoever doing much better. We've had the Master of the Universe film not doing so well, Supergirl not doing so well. What is a good return for this in its first week?
You were absolutely right in terms of like the returns that a lot of these films are getting. Spielberg doesn't hold back when it comes to budget, so he will likely struggle to get this back because it has opened at the same time as the World Cup. I've just come from the pub with a lot of people there watching football, not the movies, right? But in terms of that opening weekend, it opened yesterday, so it's actually too early to tell what it's going to make yet. But hopefully it will make back, the 80% of what it's done.
Because a lot of these big films aren't doing... Superman last year did 600 million. It was okay. I mean, how many of them cannot do numbers before big studios stop making big films?
There's always money in spectacle, and they do make their money elsewhere, so don't worry about them. They do make their money wherever they can. The streaming giants are changing everything because of the way in which films are sold. So they aren't making the money on the DVD sales, the VHS sales, if you're old enough to do that. So the way that the licensing works now is quite difficult for the crew and the cast, everyone that to make money, but the studios are making lots of money, so they will still keep pumping out these films.
Because I watched Super Mario Galaxy with my son. And
what did you think of that?
It's very gamer orientated. So my son loved it. I didn't mind it at all. Probably preferred the original, maybe. But it was $19.99. That's not nothing, is it, for two people to watch a film? Not long ago, there are cinemas where $19.99 would be the price of 2 tickets. So they are making money somewhere.
And if you went to the Mario, they were selling the Yoshi popcorn bucket, right, which was like £40, and then people were flogging them online even higher. They're making a lot of money back in those sort of peripheral merchandise opportunities. Yeah.
Do you know what, Chris? It's one of the most shocking. I do a thing. I can't even say what it is. So I have a podcast and I do a thing about prices, but I can't use the word that I use. I've only just remembered that there was a Crypto the Dog Bowl for the Superman film. Literally a piece of plastic tap, 40 quid. 40 quid. Of course I bought it. Now, we're going to talk about Ponies now, which is a new show with Emilia Clarke, who plays Bee in the show, a 70s-themed Sky Atlantic spy thriller set in Moscow featuring two widows newly recruited as CIA spies. After both their spy agent husbands are found dead, the two convince the CIA they are a great hire, a pair of ponies, also known as persons of no interest. White Lotus actress Hayley Lou Richardson plays Bee's partner in crime as they navigate dangerous assignments spying on Russia's KGB agents. Okay, first up, I've got a theory that it's impossible to dislike Emilia Clarke.
Absolutely.
Just the most positive energy of any human on earth, but that doesn't necessarily make a good TV show, does it?
No, I am a Emilia Clarke fan, and this is far away from her role as Daenerys Targaryen. This is more in line with something like Me Before You. Did you see that film?
I didn't, but I do remember her from Solo. She should have done more in the Star Wars universe.
So, yeah, in this, in Ponies, she's playing a character that is very much going into the danger zone, playing an undercover agent in Moscow. And yeah, she's not necessarily equipped or trained or anything like that to deal with this. So there's an element of her being in overhead, like in Me Before You. But a very good performance. Something slightly different. We've not seen this from her. She's doing a lot of language, speaking Russian and things. Yeah, she's brilliant in this, but it's actually Hayley Lou Richardson that steals the show. Okay. I haven't seen White Lotus.
I was just going to say, who was Hayley Lou Richardson in White Lotus?
I've not seen it.
I'm a big White Lotus fan.
I kind of want to now I've seen this because I think she's great.
Text in if you know number 87222. Which series was Hayley Lou Richardson in? A little bit of trivia there, and we've got the quiz coming up very shortly. I mean, this sort of sounds like a vaguely comedic setup, but when I heard the trailer, it does not sound comedic.
It's got everything. It is a very silly at times show, but it's also really serious. There's drama. There's quite a threatening baddie. Emilia Clarke's character gets very close to a KGB agent, and he's incredibly volatile and murderous. So it's doing a lot, and it reminded me of. Did you see The Man from U.N.C.L.E., the Guy Ritchie film with Henry Cavill a few years back? Similar to that, in that you've got like a period spy type setup, but it's having fun with it. It's all the costumes, it's all the stuff, but they're actually just making light slightly of it. But there are also lots of really strong messaging going on in this show. It talks a lot about sexism, misogyny, and the fact that they are people of non-interest straight away gives you the idea of why they're telling this story. And it works really well because it's come at a right time when obviously there are a lot of tensions in the world, and the Cold War is a perfect backdrop for this to play out on.
I like what you said earlier, a character in under a head. I know that wasn't what you meant to say,
no,
but they're always in over the head. I thought it'd be quite funny to have a character who's way under leveraged in terms of plot details.
Just absolutely sailed through. She was
literally
fine.
just hovering along quite happily. We're going to talk about a show Because We Are Too Many Now, which is Amazon Prime's new show. It's a fiercely honest semi-autobiographical drama showcasing the layers of single motherhood. It's set in Glasgow during lockdown and written, directed by stars Eve Natasha and Leonard Walsh, who plays a mother running from her dark past while trying to fight for her son's future following his autism diagnosis. Okay, I believe it might be actually Leonard Walsh. What's interesting to me about this, Chris, I once tried to get a drama away about parenting in COVID because I thought it was a really interesting area. But the problem was we got a year after COVID and lockdown, and no one wanted to talk about lockdown. So is it hard to go back to that time? It sounds like a hard watch, I'm being honest.
Yeah, so it's a film, and the actual going back to the lockdown is perfectly timed in terms of we've had enough space. Now, I know what you mean. That fatigue afterwards is like, no. It's been enough time now, and it's really, really crucial to the nature of the story, which is a lot about isolation. And as I'm a parent as well, and that time was really tough. I had a very young set of children, and seeing this play out with a single mum with an autistic son, it's her actual son. And that part of the film is really powerful, but we also get her so the character's called Morgan, and we see her as a child as well, and how a lot of the trauma and poverty that she had as a child has now ricocheted into the future. But yeah, the lockdown scenes are particularly startling. There's a scene where there's a traffic light going, and there's no traffic, there's no cars on the road at all, and it's just going through the colours, and the world had stopped. So all the support networks had stopped, and parents in particular, or anyone vulnerable to look after, would have found that very, very difficult. So it's bleak, but it's beautiful as well at the same time. There are some beautiful moments of humanity in this film, and I think it's one of those. It's an independent movie, so I think people can really get a lot out of their subscriptions to Amazon Prime if they find these gems. And I always like to try and shine a light on these sort of films, because for every Spielberg film we get, there's probably like 50 of these films sitting there that are maybe not like Spielbergian, but they're really good.
Yeah, no, it does sound engaging. I'm really impressed by how brave they are going back to that. I was looking at some stuff from 2021 recently, and there was that thing of queuing to get in supermarkets. I mean, just this is an absolute pun, but do the characters at some point, are they watching Phil and Holly hugging through that weird giant condom? Do you remember
that? No, I mean, that would actually lighten things up slightly in that part of the film. There's bits in the job centre. I'm just giving you the idea of this landscape that they're in. It's more to do with like the suffering side of it. But there are moments as well of they're together. They're, do you know what I mean? Through the good and bad, and actually the film takes you on the journey that you think it's going to, that actually they come to a place of acceptance and enjoying, the fact that they are a loving family unit.
And now, our Times Radio listeners are all busy people, so I'm going to ask you, if they can just watch one of these, which one should they carve out that time in their week for?
I'm going to go with Because We Are Too Many, and the reason being is I think Spielberg is great, and that film is really good. It's like a 4-star film, but for me, it made me want to go and watch Close Encounters again. Ponies is an 8-piece series, so if you're short on time, I would go with Because We Are Too Many.
Okay, excellent. Chris, thanks very much for coming in.
Having me.
I really enjoyed that chat.